From top to bottom, back to front, he has an amazing physique. He has a very small waist, wide shoulders, and a ton of muscle, the classic X-frame, and he is in fact competing in classic physique. This athlete, he's only 19, and I do believe he's even better than Sam Sulek. Coach Reg, in today's video, it's on a phenomenal bodybuilder. And he's only 19 years of age. His name is Albertas Krinickis. And he's sponsored by Hostile, which is owned by Fouad Abiad. And so Fouad, he recognizes the athletes with the most potential in the world. Previously, he sponsored Sam Sulek, and 1 or 2 years later, he's an IFBB pro. Sam, only 23 years of age. This athlete, he's only 19, and I do believe he's even better than Sam Sulek. He's competed one time. He's now going to compete for his IFBB Pro card in 5 weeks. This kid has gone viral, similar to Sam Sulek. Each of his posts currently getting close to or more than 1 million views. And all he's doing is flexing his physique. Now, here's the thing. He's about 5'10". He's currently weighing 226 pounds, and he's very, very lean. He has to cut down to 209 pounds in order to make his weight class. So he still has to lose 17 pounds. And I do believe after he competes at this competition, he's going to be an IFBB pro. And so the last time I saw a physique as impressive as this, it was on Anton. Anton, I believe, is the world's youngest IFBB pro turned professional at the tender age of 19. As great as this man's physique, as impressive it is, I do have to point out the negative. I don't believe he's 100% natural. You can debate me, he doesn't admit or isn't open about this, but I highly doubt he's natty. He has a better physique than I did at my best, and he's only 19 years of age. And remember, I didn't do it natural. And so from top to bottom, back to front, he has an amazing physique. He has a very small waist, wide shoulders, and a ton of muscle, the classic X-frame, and he is in fact competing in classic physique. I mean, the front double bicep alone, I can't believe it. He's 19. The waist is minuscule, full biceps, big chest, quads. His physique is exquisite. It's astounding. But here's the problem. His physique shouldn't be achieved at the age of 19. This physique is not natural. You might be thinking, yeah, but he's not using abusive doses. Unless it's prescribed by his doctor, it's abusive doses. And based on his face, the acne, and so on, I highly doubt that he's on low doses. It's possible, but even if it's low doses, he doesn't need them. If he's this great now at 19, does he actually need steroids? I mean, let's imagine that this kid is natural. He's competing at 18, 19 years of age in his very first competition. Could he have not have started by competing natural? Remember, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but I competed 42 times natural before I used performance-enhancing drugs. 42 times. And so as a teenager, he has no right to abuse steroids. Now, whether it's illegal or illegal in his country, I don't care. He's too young to be using steroids. But here's the problem. The millennials of the world, they don't care. They want it yesterday. What if he doesn't want to do this his entire life? What if he hopped on steroids at too young of an age and is going for the dopamine, the quick high, winning a competition, winning his IFBB Pro card? But let's say a few years down the road, he doesn't want it anymore. He realizes that his health isn't in order. Perhaps he gets his blood work done and he learns to regret it. Would it not be sad for that to actually happen? Oh, that could never happen. Look up Anthony Mantello. He was chasing to become the youngest IFBB pro, was on SARM steroids, started at the age of 16. And so what has happened since that time? Well, let me show you. His latest post, before versus after. In the before photo, you see his puffy moon face from abusing performance-enhancing drugs. And he states, face gains are nice as well. No inflammation in the face. Anthony earned his IFBB Pro card. He says he had no energy, he didn't like what he was doing, and it wasn't healthy. And so since that time, he's now on HRT prescribed by a doctor. And why do you think that is? Because most people who end up on steroids, after they go off, their testosterone levels, they're in the toilet. Feel like garbage, you have a very difficult time concentrating, sleeping, working, and you experience erectile difficulties. And so who's to say that Albertas Krinickis will not feel the exact same way. Young people, they're chasing dopamine. They feel like it could never happen to them. The bad things that happen with steroid abuse, it'll never happen to them. And so we praise them. How could we not? Look at his physique. Sebum himself admitted to starting steroids at the age of only 18. And how did it turn out for Sebum? He's a multi-millionaire with over 25 million followers on Instagram. And so people see that and think, well, I want that as well. But you never know what can happen. You never know the regrets that you may be making. Does anyone think that this guy, while being natural, wouldn't have had a better physique than when I had when I was 18 or 19 years of age? I certainly think that even if he was natural, he would still look amazing. And so why not first compete natural? Do you really need to start abusing steroids as a teenager? And then what happens? We promote him. For example, Fouad Abiad, Hostile, they're going to promote this athlete. Same as Sam Sulek, same as Chris Bumstead. We all want to see the freaks of the freaks, the best of the best. And this guy, he's it. He's the best teenager in the world. But even without steroids, he still would have had a phenomenal physique. And so why not stretch out the gains? Why does he have to be the small fish in a big pond so quickly? He's going to compete in 5 weeks. He's probably going to be an IPB pro. Then he has to now beat Mike Sommerfeld. Why do we have to be at that level so quickly? And so why not compete at 18 or 19 years of age and do it natural? See if you can beat the guys who are on steroids while being natural and slowly climb the ladder. Try and win your regional show, then try to win the nationals. Perhaps you don't win. You're natural. You're 19. The next year you come back with 5 or 10 pounds more muscle. The year after that, you do the same thing. And then perhaps when you're 25, when your brain is finished developing, then and only then do you decide to use performance-enhancing drugs. If you haven't trained for a minimum of 5, dare I say 10 years, should you actually be using steroids? Should you not learn how to train effectively? To properly do your exercises before hopping on. He's a young man. Newbie gains left to be had. Why lose out on those newbie gains? Phil Heath and Jay Cutler discussed this. They don't believe that anyone is going to be a next Ronnie Coleman. And why? Because these athletes are using steroids at far too young of an age. Ronnie Coleman turned IFBB pro as a natural before going on steroids. But this kid, he's on steroids before his first competition. Same with Sebum, same with Sam Sulek. But these guys get millions of followers. And so what message does that give to the younger athletes? The message is use steroids. Blast steroids. It's not going to do any harm. What could be wrong? What could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what. The acne, gynecomastia, the effects to your cholesterol, to your heart, to your liver, to your kidneys, you're shortening your life. Perhaps you won't know it until later, but if you use and abuse steroids for far too long, it's inevitable that it's going to have negative side effects and shorten your life. No one should be using steroids as a teenager. I repeat, nobody. Not a single person. And the better your genetics, you're thinking, yeah, well, he's got great genetics. He's probably going to be the Mr. Olympia, so he should use steroids. Does he need to use them right now? As a teenager, can't he wait? What happened to Sebum? Last I checked, he retired. He's not even competing and he's only 29. 79! I didn't even start taking steroids till I was in my 30s and didn't retire till I was 44. So why start at 19? For all we know, this guy, he turns pro. A year from now, he's at the top of the class in classic physique, and then he continues to move on. By 25, he's competing for the Mr. Olympia, and by 30, he's retired. And let's say it's okay as a teenager. Let's say, okay, we're giving him the carte blanche. You are the one person in the world, the exception to the rule, that you should be on steroids. Did he need this much? Let's make up a number. Let's say he's on 400 milligrams of testosterone and 400 milligrams of masteron. Did he need that? Could he not have done 200 of each? Whatever his dose is, do you not think he could have done half? Does anyone disagree with me? Look at his physique. Does it look like he needs to be that good at only 19? Does he need to get his pro card at his very first competition? And so what's happening is people want the glory, the limelight right away. Their first competition, I want to win the overall. Second competition, I want to be an IFBB pro. It took me 50 tries before I turned pro. 50! If you truly love bodybuilding, you would do it natural. If you say, oh, I love it so much and so I'm going to use steroids, that is a cop-out. Try loving bodybuilding when the gains come slower than last time, when you can only put on 3 pounds of muscle in a year. Anyone can love bodybuilding when you're growing 20 pounds each year. When your bench press goes up each and every week, that's fun. But what about having to work for it? And so imagine this. He's on so many steroids that he barely even knows if he can make the weight class. The same applied to Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek was 270 pounds in the offseason. He had to cut down to 217. And you know what Sam Sulek is 1 week after the competition? 251.4. That means he gained over 34 pounds in 1 week following the competition. And so did he really need to bulk up to 270? And so Sam not have won his IFBB Pro card on lower doses had he have bulked to only 260 and cut down to the same 217? Would he not have looked the same? And so why abuse steroids? This kid is 226 pounds. He's already looking incredible. And yet he's trying to cut down. He's likely going to lose muscle in the pursuit of that goal. And why not just use lower doses? Find out how to train properly for your own body. There's no way you can convince me that at 19, he already knows how to train 100% correctly. That he's figured out through trial and error everything that works for his body. That he knows the exact training program, the type of diet that he responds best to, the foods that work best for his body. There's no way that that's possible. And so who's even coaching him? How does he know that he's using safe doses as if that's a thing? There are no safe doses of performance-enhancing drugs. There are safer doses, aka lower doses, but does he look like he's on low doses? Bodybuilding, it's kind of like a game where there are cheat codes. People play games all the time. Cheat codes, and you fast forward to level 10. And in the real world, most events, you don't have a fast forward button. There is no cheat code. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a surgeon, a surgeon, an eye surgeon, you need to put in the work. Perhaps it's 11 years in school. You can't just press a button and fast forward all the hard work. But in bodybuilding, there is that cheat code, that button that you press. It's known as a syringe. And so this guy, he cheated his way to that amazing physique at the only age of 19. Perhaps it would have taken him till 25 to reach that physique while doing it natural. But he couldn't wait. He didn't love bodybuilding enough to wait in order to get that physique. And so he used the cheat code, the syringe, the pills, if you will. And so he's fast forwarded 10 levels and he looks like a guy who's 29 when he's only 19. In bodybuilding, what people do is they fast forward years of grinding, of putting in the work by taking a pill or injecting something with a syringe. They use the cheat work because they're not man enough to do it themselves. Now, they're not cheating the competition because you're allowed to use steroids in bodybuilding. It's not a drug-tested sport. But you're cheating yourself. The fact that you would have earned it through hard work. Now, if you decide to eventually use steroids, whatever. But at least your brain would be developed. At least you would know that you developed an amazing physique while you were natural. And so when you're young, 19, you don't think about that. He's not going to regret it now. He's going to get his IFBB Pro card. He's going to get millions of views, perhaps millions of followers, millions of dollars. But when he's older, he would trade all of that, every freaking dime, to be able to live a longer life. And so I'm telling you because I once had this mindset. I wanted to be an IFBB Pro. I did what I could natural, and I couldn't get my pro card, and so eventually I used steroids. But it comes with regrets. When you get older and you reflect on the things that you've done, then you'll understand that it was a mistake. And so many of you don't care. You don't care about this man. You just want to see him be the next Mr. Olympia. Perhaps in 5 years, he'll beat Derek Lundford. You're thinking you can't wait to see and cheer for his progress. But it's like looking at a car crash, a car accident. You can't look away. You're curious to see what happens. But if you really cared about this kid, wouldn't you be trying to encourage him to go natural? Or at the very least, lower the doses. Does he need to be a pro at 19? Does it make him that much more impressive? Imagine if he were natural and he spoke out and said, you know what, guys? I want to get my pro card while being 100% natural. I think I can do it. I'm going to train for 5, maybe even 10 years in order to do that. Or perhaps like Coach Greg, I'll get my pro card on my 50th competition. I did 42 shows natural. And so which athlete would you have more respect for? The athlete who's natural, who gets 5th place, goes to the pro card qualifier, gets 5th, but 100% natural? Or the athlete that used steroids and wins his IFBB pro card? I'm going to tell you the answer. You guys care more about the athlete that wins. All you care about is the winner. You wait at the finish line and you see who's first place and you reward them with all of the glory. You don't care how much work that other person that got second put into it. The second place athlete, they did it natural. No one cares. They only care about the winner. And so this is the problem. The accolades, the glory of being the winner at all costs. Whatever it takes, as Rich Piana used to say. Oh, but how did that work out for Rich Piana? He's no longer with us. Do you not think that if Rich Piana had a second choice that he would regret all the things that he's done? And so while you're doing it, you don't think of the repercussions. I'm telling you, later on, down the road, he's going to regret it. He used steroids far too young. You might be cheering for him now, but should you? And what will you say if he perhaps dies in 5 years' time? Have you not seen the long list of professional bodybuilders who have passed away in the past several years? The list is getting longer than last time, and these are just the pros. We had a 20-year-old female bodybuilder die attending the Arnolds, and she wasn't even in the competition. And why do you think that is? From abusing performance-enhancing drugs. She was 20. Do you think she wouldn't regret what she did? If she were to be given a second chance, do you think she wouldn't take it? And so I asked him what his weight category is. It says, I would say either 209 or 202. It depends on how they measure me, but I hope 209. And so he's right at the cusp of 5'10". If he measures in at 5'9" and 7/8, it's 202. That means he's going to have to lose 7 more pounds of muscle. If he heights in at 5'10" or beyond, he's going to be allowed to weigh 209. But don't you think it would be safer, healthier, if he did this while being 100% natural? And so, yes, he has an amazing physique, but it's so amazing that he didn't need steroids. You're going to sit there and argue he has a great physique, so he should use steroids. He might be the next C-bum. What about the guy that has horrible genetics that just wants to look average? And so me, I don't care. I don't care if you're using steroids to be a bodybuilder or using steroids so that you look average when you take your shirt off at the beach. Both of them are going to have negative consequences. And so this is my warning. Guys, don't use steroids at such an early age. You're far too young as a teenager. If you are going to do it, you're decided to do it, wait several years. You don't need to do it right now. Just like if you find a girl, you don't need to get married to her today. You can wait 5 years. What's wrong with waiting? What's wrong with holding off? And so on Instagram, he has 71,000 followers. I do believe in 5 weeks, he'll enter his IBB Pro card. He'll probably have over 100,000 followers. And if he continues to post videos and perhaps show his training and so on, more people are going to follow him. And one day, perhaps he'll have 1 million followers and be an IBB Pro who wins the Mr. Olympia. Who knows? But what I do know is abusing steroids as a teenager, it's not good for your health. And so please say no. Interested in the T-plug stack and stay 100% natural? Remember, it's not banned by WADA, not dangerous, not unhealthy. Turk Builder Max as well as GO2 Max. You can use code Greg for 15% off. Remember, it's straight from Uzbekistan. It's not the copycat plant from China, which the other people are selling. It's the actual legitimate plant, the one you've been searching for. And so it's not sold out. Go ahead to the website, get it right now. And if it is sold out, don't forget to click on the button to let you know exactly when it's going to be in stock. They sell out very quickly. And so if you're notified, you will get an email saying it's in stock. You can go purchase it right now. Also, we have G-Test Plus, the best test booster in the world, available on our website. And so interested in that as well, code Greg, 15% off. And until next time, I am out.